Okay, when I checked out the West Bank, everything's fine there. Good job. On January 3rd, there was another conversation call. January 3rd. So it's 12:27. Did Destiny see the video of the washed up actor reacting to me? No. It's stupid when people bring up the point Trump was genuinely concerned the election was being stolen, but then after being told conflicting evidence, why would he not begin to doubt the idea the election was being stolen and instead further seek any evidence for the steal? Yeah, I don't know, dude. Yeah, people are wacky. I should have Rosen's deposition as well. Rosen, deposition. Is this still about the phone call on the 27th? Oh wait, whose deposition is this? Oh wait. Rosen, deposition. Documents on file, court, transcribed interviews, Control F, Rosen. When it says transcribed interview versus deposition of, all of these interviews are depositions, right? I'm assuming? Does he not mention anything about, or they don't ask him about this? It's kind of annoying.
With an allegation that more than 200,000 votes were certified in the state of Pennsylvania that were not actually cast.
Oh, why didn't we have this? Thank you.
With an allegation that more than 200,000 votes were certified in the state of Pennsylvania that were not actually cast. Sometimes the president would say it was 205, sometimes he would say it was 250, but I'd not heard this before, and I want to get the allegation down clearly so that we can look into it if appropriate, and that's why I started taking those notes, and then as the conversation continued, I just continued to take the notes.
Let's take a look at the notes, if we could right now. As we can see on the screen...
oh, thank you, sir.
You actually quote President Trump asking, where's DOJ? Just like we heard him say in his first television interview. How did you...
Asian, very limited states.
Fuck, wait, what was the date of this first meeting?
Aware of. Contact the president. Attorney General Rosen called me on my government cell phone, said he'd been on the phone with the president for some time. The president had a lot of these allegations. I was better versed in what the department had done just because I had closer contact with the investigations, and the AG asked me to get on the call. Of course, I agreed. And I began taking notes only because at the outset the president made an allegation I had not heard. I'd heard many of these things. I knew many of them were investigated. But when the president, at least when I came to the conversation, when he began speaking, he brought up an allegation I was completely unaware of. And of course, that concerned us. So I simply reached out and grabbed a notepad off my wife's nightstand and a pen, and I started jotting it. Reflected my notes. We went through a series of others. The truck driver who claimed to have moved an entire tractor trailer of ballots from New York to Pennsylvania. That was also incorrect. We did an investigation with the FBI, interview witnesses at the front end and the back end of that trailer's and for the ballots that were actually counted by machine, what for me was a 90-minute conversation or so, and what for the former simple, because it was clear to us that there were a lot of people whispering in his ear, feeding him these conspiracy theories and allegations, and I felt that being very blunt in that conversation might help make it clear to the president that these allegations were simply not true. And so as he went through them in what for me was a 90-minute conversation or so, and what for the former acting AG was a 2-hour conversation, as the president went through them, I went piece by piece to say, no, that's false. That is not true. And to correct him really in a serial fashion as he...
What was the date of this?
And he had this arsenal of allegations that he...
You on December 27th, you had a 90-minute conversation with the president where he raised false claim after false claim with you and Mr.
December 27th conversation was, in my mind, an escalation of the earlier conversations. As the former acting AG indicated, there were a lot of communications that preceded that. As we got later in the month of December, the president's entreaties became more urgent. He became more adamant that we weren't doing our job. It had to do with an allegation that more than 200,000 votes were certified in the state of Pennsylvania that were not actually cast. Sometimes the president would say it was 205, sometimes he would say it was 250, but I'd not heard this before, and I want to get the allegation down clearly so that we can look into it if appropriate, and that's why I started taking those notes, and then as the conversation continued, I just continued to take the notes.
Let's take a look at the notes, if we could right now. As we can see on the screen, you actually quote President Trump asking, where's DOJ? Just like we heard him say in his first television interview. How did you respond to that?
So both the acting AG and I tried to explain to the president on this occasion and on several other occasions that the Justice Department has a very important, very specific, but very limited role in these elections. States run their elections. We are not quality control for the states. We are obviously interested in and have a mission that relates to criminal conduct in relation to federal elections. We also have related civil rights responsibilities, so we do have an important role. But the bottom line was if a state ran their election in such a way that it was defective, That is to the state or Congress to correct. It is not for the Justice Department to step in. And I certainly understood the president as a layman, not understanding why the Justice Department didn't have at least a civil role to step in and bring suit on behalf of the American people. We tried to explain that to him. The American people do not constitute the client for the United States Justice Department. The one and only client of the United States Justice Department is the United States government. And the United States government does not have standing, as we were repeatedly told by our internal teams, OLC led by Steve Engel, as well as the Office of Solicitor General, researched it and gave us thorough, clear opinions that we simply did not have standing. We tried to explain that to the president on numerous occasions.
Let's take a look at another one of your notes. You also noted that Mr. Rosen said to Mr. Trump, quote,
People don't necessarily trust the FBI. And then he went into some allegations specific to Pennsylvania, which included, amongst others, this allegation that the Secretary of State had certified more votes than were actually cast.
did you direct the local U.S. Attorney's Office to investigate that claim?
So Mr. Perry said that he had a great deal of information, that investigations had been done, that there was some sort of forensic type report that would be helpful to me. And I didn't know Congressman Perry. I'd never heard of him before this conversation, but I said, sir, if you've got something that you think is relevant to what the Justice Department's mission is, you should feel free to send it to me. And he did. And I was en route from New York to Washington. I got it. I looked at it on my iPhone. Obviously, I couldn't read the whole thing in transit like that, but I looked at it to get a feel for what it was, and then I forwarded it to the United States Attorney for the Western District of Pennsylvania.
Did they get back to you? What did they conclude?
Scott Brady looked at it. He was the Western District of Pennsylvania U.S. Attorney. Took him a couple of days, but he got back in relatively short order with a pretty clear explanation for why there was no foundation for concern. The Secretary of State had not certified more votes than were actually cast. The difference between the 5.25 that was actually certified by the Secretary of State and the 5 million that was on a public-facing website was that the information on the website was incomplete because 4 counties had not uploaded their data.
So no credibility to that.
There was zero to that, right.
During that call, did Scott Perry mention Mr. Clark, and what did he say about him, if so?
He did. He mentioned Mr. Clark. He said something to the effect of, I think Jeff Clark is great, and I think he's the kind of guy who could get in there and do something about this stuff. And this was coming on the heels of the president having mentioned Mr. Clark in the afternoon call earlier that day.
I'd like to yield to the gentlewoman from Wyoming, Vice Chair Cheney.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kinsgar. Thank the gentleman for yielding. As we discussed earlier, at the center of Mr. Clark's plan to undo President Trump's election loss was a letter. Mr. Donahue, on December 28th, Mr. Clark emailed you and Mr. Rosen a draft letter that he wanted.
The conversation at this point had moved beyond the specific allegations, whether it was State Farm Arena or Antrim County or Pennsylvania or whatever. We had discussed those repeatedly, and
why did Rick Perry know Clark? I don't know. They were just all there, like they had a little crony side chat room where they were all just like finding their little crony friends to. I think Perry might have been the guy that originally suggested Clark to Trump. I think.
Farm Arena or Antrim County or Pennsylvania or whatever. We had discussed those repeatedly, and that was backdrop to the conversation. But the conversation at this point was really about whether the president should remove Jeff Rosen and replace him with Jeff Clark. And everyone in the room, I think, understood that that meant that letter would go out. So that was the focus. It was about a 2.5-hour meeting after I entered, and so there were discussions about the pros and cons of doing that. Early on, the president said, what do I have to lose? And it was actually a good opening because I said, Mr. President, you have a great deal to lose. And I began to explain to him what he had to lose, and what the country had to lose, and what the department had to lose. And this
Sorry. Okay. Is there any other references about Pennsylvania in here? That was December 27th. I'm guessing this is also from the deposition. I'm trying to find acting Deputy Attorney General Richard Donahue on January 3rd. We would say to him, you know, we checked that out, there's nothing to it. We would cite, and he would cite certain allegations, and so, like, such as Pennsylvania, right? No, there were not 250,000 more votes cast, or more votes reported than were actually cast. It's not true. So we would say things like that. What is this being quoted from? Let's see. They do annotation 115 after 49. Interview of... No, I clicked the wrong thing. Whatever. When is this call? Or I guess I would say it's the 3rd, huh? So after you were called into the meeting... If Trump never tried to overturn the election, would he be guaranteed to win? Would he be guaranteed to win in this election? How significant do you think the January 6th stuff has even had on the voter turnouts against Trump? Probably not too much. The biggest impact it would have had would have been some, because I think some Republicans might have gotten turned off from the Republican shit after January 6th, but I don't know if those people went back or what they're doing now. They might just be disaffected voters, who knows? Some sort of conversation between Clark and Rosen. Yes, that's right. Okay, January 3rd. Was that a Sunday? What day was January 3rd, 2021? Was a Sunday. Okay, that's this Sunday. Oh, was January 3rd? That was like the super dramatic meeting time, right? On page 156. January 3rd, 2021. Page 136. Destiny, page 54. Oh, this is referring to the 27th, I think. But I've got that on video. I always prefer video over me reading. Them talking versus me reading is always better. Wait, whoops. This should go here. And this should probably go here. So Bill Barr was really saying this was stupid on December 14th? Let me re-listen to this.
I tried to, again, put this in perspective and to try to put it in very clear terms to the president. And I said something to the effect of, sir, we've done dozens of investigations, hundreds of interviews.
Right clip.
The major allegations are not supported by the evidence developed. We've looked at Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Nevada. We're doing our job. Much of the info you're getting is false. And then I went into, for instance, this thing from Michigan, this report about 68% error rate. The reality is it was only 0.006% error rate, less than 1 in 15,000. Point that there were so many of these allegations. So then I talked about a little bit of why and just talking to people and look at the others. The president kept fixating on the suitcase. No suitcase. Just have, I told him that there was no 3 or 4 or 5 people voting. There's lots of evidence.
The only ones is consent. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Confirm.
Wait, why did I link the wrong thing here? Fuck. Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania. It was this with bar, copy, video.
I tried.
Control V.
Can ticket, so that does not suggest that the election was stolen by fraud.
How about Pennsylvania and Bill McSwain? We were talking to the U.S. Attorney in Philadelphia about an alleged discrepancy between the number of absentee ballots issued and the number of ballots cast.
Right. So that was one of the big ones for a period of time. I think that was raised at Gettysburg by Giuliani or something like that. But it kept on being repeated, and I found it annoying because I didn't seem that it was right. So I called McSwain, and he got back to me. He said, "No, the problem is that Mastriano threw out this number, and what he did was he mixed apples and oranges. He took the number of applications for the Republican primary and he compared it to the number of absentee votes cast in the general election. But once you actually go and look and compare apples to apples, there's no discrepancy at all."
Oh, I understand. So Barr disproves this on the before the 14th, because that's when he leaves. But then the Pennsylvania legislature, or at least some hackfuck Republicans, come back with some other bullshit about it, and that's what they have to go through the second time. Gotcha. Anything else in here about Pennsylvania? Are there any other people that told Trump the Pennsylvania stuff was stupid? There's no dramatic final resolution to this Pennsylvania lie either, right? Like Mastriano or whatever has never had to admit that he lied about this, or... Mastriano, Pennsylvania, extra voters, ballots... Did he ever make a statement walking any of this back? Or no? I can't believe this fucking guy got reelected. I mean, I guess I can.
A Pennsylvania state senator who has helped spread former President Trump's unfounded allegations of election fraud says he's asking several counties to submit to a forensic investigation of last fall's election. Republican State Senator Doug Mastriano of Franklin County also wants a so-called audit of the May primary. Counties were asked to respond by July 31st with a plan to comply. Mastriano could theoretically issue subpoenas to holdout counties as long as he has a majority vote of his committee. No county election board, prosecutor, or state official has raised concerns about significant election fraud. State Attorney General Josh Shapiro is responding tonight. He says counties should refuse to participate in what he calls a, quote, partisan fishing expedition. He says the audit could risk decertifying counties' voting machines and could cost county taxpayers. Shapiro says if subpoenas are issued, his office will do everything it can to protect the state and its voters.
Oh, he lost to Shapiro for governor in 22?
The senior legal advisor to Pennsylvania Republican gubernatorial candidate Doug Mastriano has been ordered to appear before a grand jury investigating possible election fraud in Georgia. Jen Ellis was previously a personal attorney for President Trump, and she worked to overturn the 2020 election. Rudy Giuliani appeared before the same grand jury today.
Okay, well. Okay.
As RFK Jr. spent his campaign.
Literally nobody cares. Shut the fuck up. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Don't need any of this right now. Why are people like HW okay with these kinds of fishing expeditions, but get upset at people investigating Trump? Because he's a partisan hack. What do you mean? Okay. Where is the very first time okay, when Giuliani tweets that video, the OAN video for the first time, what is the date on that? Pennsylvania. What the fuck? How is this fucked up? Oh, that's my table. Let's speech. Okay. All right. Let's go on that. Okay. Giuliani. I'm looking for Giuliani mentioning the... Let's see if we can find this. It was first started with an OAN video that he shared, I believe.
Eight o'clock in the morning. We're going to roll this back and show it to you.
Okay, this was on December 3rd.
So now we're going to start pulling these ballots out from under this table.
Let's see if we can find earlier examples.
This table, the black one, was placed there by the lady with the blonde braids at about 8:22 a.m. in the morning. So she put that table there. So the same person who's staying behind now, the same person who cleared the place out.
Somebody told... Okay, I've read that Giuliani gave this footage to OAN. Where can I find information about that? Giuliani, actually wait, it might be in here. I'm looking at Control F, Georgia. Oh my God. Or how about State Farm? The State Farm Arena video. On December 3rd, Rudy Giuliani presented state legislators with selectively edited footage of ballots being counted on election night at Fulton County State Farm Arena. Giuliani missed from his video as a smoking gun proving election fraud. The president repeatedly claimed that he would have won Georgia if not for a spokesperson or return to supporters. November 5th. Do we know 100% where this video originated from? On December 3rd, Rudy Giuliani presented state legislators. This is annotation 241 after page 250. 241 after page 250. Georgia election officials show frame by frame what happened in Fulton County. This is on December 4th. This is on December 4th? They debunked this? Jesus. No shot. Show frame by frame what happened. Now playing above. This? Doesn't look like it. Oh, up here? Up here? Now playing above? Where? Holy shit, this is the most AIDS. Is it here?
And for the third time, counties across Georgia have certified votes from November's presidential election.
The Secretary of State, other supporters too, call it the small
election.
The Secretary of State is expected to actually certify the statewide results today as well. The outcome not expected to change, but legal challenges are still underway, including one involving that video right there from State Farm Arena. President Trump's lawyer, other supporters too, call it the smoking gun proving election fraud. Channel 2 investigative reporter Justin Gray spent the day with Georgia elections officials, as we saw in that video. And Justin, we saw it. You went frame by frame to uncover and then really show everyone what happened.
Yeah, George, we spent a lot of time today with the state's lead investigator. We looked at that video for hours, going through it very carefully, looking not just at that short clip that Rudy Giuliani shared, but also the critical hours before it and after it, going through the chain of custody for those ballots in question the entire time.
You went through hours.
Yes. We went frame by frame with state election investigators. They've already spent hours analyzing this video. Looking at the election night surveillance tape that President Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, calls a smoking gun. Quote, suitcases pulled from under a table.
We can show exactly when they were placed under there.
So these were not mystery ballots that came from a mystery location?
No.
They were right there in the room?
Yes.
People watched them placed in those boxes?
Yes.
This is the short section of the video the Trump team has shared. It's not suitcases being pulled from under that table, but official sealed ballot containers. If we go back in the video,
And I said-
hours before, you can see that table being brought into the room at 8:22 a.m. Nothing underneath, no hidden suitcases. Then we can see at 10 p.m. with the room full of people, including official monitors and the media, as ballots that have been opened but not counted are placed in the boxes, sealed up and stored under the table. The reason? Employees called the supervisor here to watch them put away.
No magical appearing ballots. Typical everyday process.
Okay, which one is Ruby Freeman?
Put in the boxes in front of the monitors and placed there in front of the monitors.
So what about that gap? Well, this is what happened during the roughly an
At Tower Beer, Wine, and Spirits, we've been celebrating with Atlanta for over 75 years.
We're sure this isn't your first time packing a cooler, but with all
I think the only video is from Rudy's in-person hearing in the Georgia State Senate. Oh shit, that might be the case. Rudy Giuliani, Georgia State Senate. So this should be on December 3rd.
Mr. Chairman?
Fucking cowardly fuck has to do the presentation in front of the state senate, one half of their legislature, because he won't go to court with this because he knows he's fucking lying.
Distinguished members of the committee?
Do you even have to, are you even doing this under oath? Or is it just like a fucking lobbyist meeting?
Thank you very much for giving us this hearing. I represent President Trump along with...
I wonder, for a hearing, do you swear in for state senate, for state hearing? You probably would, I would imagine, right? You must.
Jenna Ellis, and doing such a fine job for us here in Georgia. This is just only the tip of the iceberg.
December 3rd.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished members of the committee, thank you.
Holy AIDS.
Testimony. I voted on election.
Objected to Dominion. I it from
a system that...
This video is not on YouTube anywhere?
Do we really have this power? And then once reading the Constitution and the Federalist Papers, it clearly is yours. You are the final arbiter of who the electors should be and whether the process is fair or not. And the other way to look at it, it's your responsibility if a false and fraudulent count is submitted to the United States government. And it's clear that the count you have right now is false.
Thank you. All right. I think
it's this. Oh shit, that's it. Wait.
Okay, we're still at about 10 o'clock. Can you take us to about State Farm Arena here in Fulton County?
Oh my god, they had the video footage the full time? All of it? Well, I mean, they must have if they went through it, right? How did they even get a hold of this fucking footage, too? Somebody leaked it to them.
Which goes to what Ray was talking about in terms of fraud or misrepresentation. So, when that cues. Okay. So it's going to be tough because I'm going to depart from the microphone and point out some things at times. You're looking at one big room here. This is where, according to our witnesses, who give us sworn affidavits, this is where the absentee ballots and military ballots are being tabulated on election day. So we have the tape from first thing in the morning all the way past the close of the polls. What you have is essentially two Republican field organizers who were sent here to be observers. At no time were they actually permitted to observe in a meaningful way. I'm sorry, I have a voice issue today. They are roped off with the press on the side. See if I can show you.
Yes.
You're right here.
Tell you what you could do to help us out so that everyone can hear who's live streaming. If you would tell us what you're going to point to, and then we'll point to it.
Okay.
All right.
So now what will happen is these frames can move around. So this can get a little confusing, but I'll make sure to make it clear. We have two observers there. They're going to show up, not at this point, this is in the morning, as you can see the daylight. They're going to get there at about 8 o'clock to watch the tabulation of absentee and military ballots. But according to their affidavits, at about 10 o'clock, there was one person working the polls who told everyone in the room to leave on the basis they were going to stop counting and return at 8:30 in the morning. So if I can get the...
Is she AM, PM? Hold on.
we have 2 observers there. They're going to show up, not at this point, this is in the morning, as you can see the daylight. They're going to get there at about 8 o'clock to watch
8 o'clock at night?
the tabulation of absentee and military ballots. But according to their affidavits, at about 10 o'clock, there was one person
night.
working the polls
Okay.
who told everyone in the room to leave on the basis they were going to stop counting and return at 8:30 in the morning. So if I can get the frame for approximately 10 o'clock or 10:20-ish.
10 p.m.
Okay.
You can see that table right here at 11 a.m. It's right here. This is the mystery table with the mysterious black ballots.
We'll have to come back to the morning for a different reason in just a second.
I wonder how they presented this whole thing. I'm so curious now. Because they have all the video footage right
Okay,
here.
so you can see what time it is.
10 a.m.
So we're at about 10 o'clock.
Oh, no, 10
What you
p.m.,
notice is
10
that the workers are present, working, and you have, back in that corner I pointed out to you, the press and the Republican observers. So according to the witnesses, the Republican observers, there's a lady who has blonde braids who comes out to announce we're going to stop counting. Everyone go home. And in fact, we see that. What happens is everyone clears out, including the Republican observers and the press, but 4 people stay behind and continue counting and tabulating well into the night from that point, which is going to be about 10:25 when they all clear out, or 10:30. And they will continue counting, unobserved, unsupervised, not in public view, as your statute requires, until about 1 in the morning. The reason we know this is because when our Republican observers were forced to leave, they went to the Central Tabulation Center, and they got news from a word from a news crew that in fact counting had continued. They had information that not everybody left according to plan, and some people stayed behind. So this shocked them, so they returned back to State Farm Arena at about 1 o'clock in the morning, where they confirmed that in fact people had just left State Farm Arena in contravention of what they'd been told by the supervisors who are running this operation. So, okay, we're still at about 10 o'clock. Can you take us to about 10:25 so we can see the change? You're going to watch this place be busy and filled up to emptied at some time between 10:25 and 10:35, which is consistent with what the affidavits say. Okay, so 10:25 is still there. Let's go to 10:35. It takes it just a few minutes for the frame to actually catch up with it. There you go, with the time that you're seeing. So here you see it all cleared out. We just went from 10:25 to 10:37. The place is a ghost town. This is where the people were vacated and told, go home, come back at 8:30. We will now stop working and stop counting. But notice who stays behind. You have 4 people, consistent with our affidavits, who stayed behind. And so you'll see the lady in purple. You'll see 2 women in yellow in the back, which is where the scanners are there at the top right frame. And then the lady with the blonde braids also, who told everyone to leave. Those are the 4 people who will stay behind. Okay. Observer's still there. So the Republican observer said they were the last people to leave State Farm Arena, along with the Fox News crew, excepting those 4 people. So what you're going to see, look at the ladies in yellow. You'll see that they will begin just sitting still, doing nothing, ostensibly not working, because after all they said they're going to stop counting. They will wait until the witnesses over there in that roped off area, the press and the observers, leave the room. Then you'll see them move into action and begin scanning ballots.
Another reason why you know how bad faith this was all done, this was a month ago, right? On the 3rd. Why didn't any of these people interview or ask anybody that was working there what was going on? Why didn't they just like give a call to the people doing the electioneering or whatever out here? Why not say, like, hey, what was going on? Why did people leave and come back? Like, this could have been solved with a single phone call rather than all this memery.
Okay, so I think what we can do now is fast forward to about 11. Do you see them? Yeah. Okay, there they walk. They're walking off. But the ladies in yellow are still there. Yes, keep your eyes on the lady in purple, and the 2 in yellow, and the woman in the blue apron with blonde braids, because those are the people who stay behind. Okay, so what you're going to see happen at about 11 o'clock is, once everyone is gone, coast is clear, they're going to pull ballots out from underneath a table. Watch this table.
I think in the very video that she's showing, hold on, 4120. Now, I don't know what she's going to say, so maybe this won't matter. Okay, we're at 4120.
And you have, back in that corner I pointed out, so according to the press and the Republican observers, braids, including which you, they went to, according to where they this operation, you can see the change, the affidavits say. You're going to watch this place be busy and filled up to emptied at some time between 10:25 and 10:35, which
you can see her putting ballot boxes, I think. Watch.
Is consistent
there
with
goes,
what the affidavits say.
Wait, does she? Oh, wait, they pause it. Oh,
okay,
and then fast forward.
The affidavits say. Watch this place be busy and filled up to emptied.
Hold on, I'm curious when they, okay. So this is at 10:19:42.
Which is consistent with what the affidavits say.
They skip from 10:19 to 10:25.
Counting. You'll also, people to...
From 10:19 to 10:25. I wonder if that's when they... Skip.
For the 3rd time.
Watch them put away. These containers of ballots back out. You can see that tape the entire time.
You went through hours. Yes.
We went frame by frame with state election investigators. They've already spent hours analyzing this video, looking at the election night surveillance tape that President Trump's personal attorney Rudy Giuliani calls a smoking gun. Quote, suitcases pulled from under a table.
We can show exactly when they were placed under there.
So these were not mystery ballots that came from a mystery location.
Was it between 10:20 and 10:40? Like right when or 10:20 and 10:25? When did they place them? I hope she shows it on the screen.
No.
They were right there in the room.
Yes.
People watched them placed in those boxes.
Yes.
This is the short section of the video the Trump team has shared. It's not suitcases being pulled from under that table, but official sealed ballot containers. If we go back in the video to hours before, you can see that table being brought into the room at 8:22 a.m. Nothing underneath, no hidden suitcases. Then we can see at 10 p.m. with the room full of people, including official monitors and the media, as ballots that have been opened but not counted are placed in the boxes, sealed up and stored under the table. The reason? Employees thought they were done for the night.
So this was around 10 o'clock. So they don't show us the footage from...
Leave State Farm Arena. Consistent with our actually sometime between 10 and 25. So we can see the change. You're going to watch this place be busy. Can you take...
So when did they say they started doing it? At 10 o'clock? This camera footage goes to 9:59 p.m. Did he say it was 10 o'clock is when they started moving the ballots? Hold on.
Planning on going. Then we can see at 10 p.m. with the room full of people, including official monitors and the media, as ballots that have been opened but not counted are placed in the boxes, sealed up and stored under the table. The reason? Employees thought they were done for the night. They were planning on going home.
Yes. As you can tell.
I wonder if we could see those move. Is it the guy in the suit that was walking towards the ballot boxes that were going to be put under this table? Is that these right up here? So at 9:59.
Take us to about 10:25. So we can see the change. You're going to watch this place be busy and filled up to emptied. At some time.
No, those are still there. So he must have been walking towards something else. Okay. But she doesn't show. I guess I'm imagining it would be right in here is when the boxes are being moved. Oh, you can see boxes right down here. It would have been these that were being put under. It was these boxes right here. But she skips ahead 20 minutes when they're moving these boxes underneath the table. So there's two boxes right here. And I think these were part of the, you can see the little paper on top for being put under the table. But she skips ahead here. These 20 minutes. This is perjury. This should be obstruction and criminal charges. If this is tortured so much. But hold on, let's see what she says at 40 minutes.
Okay, so what you're going to see happen at about 11 o'clock is once everyone is gone, coast is clear, they're going to pull ballots out from underneath a table. Watch this table.
Look at this.
So actually this will take a few minutes, but we did not know when we first watched this. Okay, is it normal to store suitcases of ballots under a tablecloth? Is that how they run the place? Maybe this is what they've been doing all day. Maybe this is what they're doing under all the tables. So we went back and watched the video. It was a team of us. We don't see that. What we see is typically you're going to find ballots, back in this corner.
She's lying. They're just lying right now. They would have seen them putting the ballots underneath the table 20 minutes earlier. Look right here. We can look at their own footage. There's no boxes here right now, okay? It is 11 p.m. We can look at their own footage and go back when they cut it. We see boxes right here, 9:59.
We're running this operation. So
we see them all right here.
Can you take us to about 10:25?
And then they
so we can see the change.
Slip ahead.
Watch this place.
Now they're gone, right? Or there's two more boxes up here.
Busy and filled up to emptied. At sometime between 10:25. Okay, so 10:25 you're still there. Let's go to 10:35.
10:35. Whatever these are on top of the table. Watch.
It takes just a few minutes for the frame to actually catch up with it. There you go.
Now they're gone.
So you see it all cleared out.
Now those boxes are gone.
10:37.
And then hold on. And then what do they pull from under the table?
Forwarded through it several. What are they trying to do? And they're going to find out all day. Maybe this is what they're doing. Watch this. Underneath a table. Watch this table.
These boxes that they're pulling right here, look, it's black boxes with the white paper on them. It's the exact same boxes. It's the exact same boxes.
So actually this will take a few minutes, but we did not know when we first watched this. Okay, is it normal to store suitcases of ballots under a tablecloth? Is that how they run the place? Maybe this is what they've been doing all day. Maybe this is what they're doing under all the tables. So we went back and watched the video. It was a team of us. We don't see that. What we see is typically you're going to find ballots, back in this corner. or coming in through a door, and then they get moved and circulated throughout the room. And it can get a little confusing because they have these black containers of ballots. They have the U.S. Postal Service containers. But what we're trying to do when we determined that there were ballots being pulled out from underneath this table is, what was the chain of custody? Where did they come from? Who put them there? When did they put them there? We only reviewed this at about 1 in the morning last night for a couple of hours. So we're going to need about 14 hours to watch it carefully because we fast-forwarded through it several times and could not find that particular frame. But here's what we can tell you for sure.
You only got this yesterday morning? How are you presenting this in front of the state senate today then? What? 1 a.m. You don't even have time to present this. What is this? Wait, what? They had less than, 12 hours of prep time?
At about 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to roll this back and show it to you. There you go. So now they're going to start pulling these and could not find that particular frame, but here's what we can tell you for sure. At about 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to roll this back and show it to you. There you go. So now they're going to start pulling these ballots out from under this table. This table, the black one, was placed there by the lady with the blonde braids at about 8:22 a.m. in the morning. So she put that table there. So the same person who's standing behind now, the same person who cleared the place out under the pretense that we're going to stop counting, is the person who put the table there. The black one at about 8 o'clock in the morning, or is to watch it carefully because we fast-forwarded through it several times and could not find that particular frame, but here's what we can tell you for sure. At about 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to roll this back and show it to you. There you go. So now they're going to start pulling these ballots out from under this table.
The ones that we saw from earlier, okay, yep. The ones that we saw, but they didn't show us put them under there.
This table, the black one, was placed there by the lady with the blonde braids at about 8:22 a.m. in the morning. So she put that table there. So the same person who's standing behind now, the same person who cleared the place out under the pretense that we're going to stop counting, is the person who put the table there at 8:22 in the morning. Yeah, I saw 4 suitcases come out from underneath the table.
But ma'am, earlier in your video, where did these go, ma'am? The ones that were right on top of the table. Also, what about the cases over here, ma'am? Why did you cut these 20 minutes out? We cut 20 minutes from 10 to 10:20, and then we cut another 10 minutes here from 10:25 to 10:37. Where did they go? This is shameless.
For 2 hours, right? That's 18,000 ballots that went through. Multiple. What are these ballots doing there, separate from all the other ballots? And why are they only counting them whenever the place is cleared out with no witnesses? Is the question.
Well, no witnesses except for all of the security camera footage that's still fucking rolling.
So these machines can process about 3,000 ballots an hour. You have multiple machines there, and they're there for 2 hours. So you do the math. How many ballots went through those machines in those 2 hours when there was no one there to supervise, to be present, consistent with your statute and rules, to supervise the tabulation? We believe that could easily be, and probably is certainly, beyond the margin of victory in this race. Because if it's only 3 scanners working for 2 hours, right, that's 18,000 ballots that went through. So we're now.
Who is this person? She was part of the team with Rudy Giuliani that made this presentation to the Georgia Senate on December 3rd to try to convince them to rescind their electoral vote.
11:09. There were, in addition to the 4 workers that you see there were 2 other people who were bringing ballots in and out. The gentleman in red that you saw, and then a second person, I can't tell if it's male or female based on their hair being pulled back in their mask, but in any event, that's 6 total people. And so if we were to sit here for the next 2 hours, what we would see is this operation just goes on and on and on. They're scanning until about 12:55 in the morning. So we kept the video running. And we can show you the people who gave us the affidavits reappearing at that time, just as they said, around 1 a.m. to find out, are they in fact counting after they told us they would stop working or not? And we'll fast forward to that. But have you all seen as much as you'd like to see of what's happening here?
I think so.
I think you basically get the idea.
Unless any member wants to see more.
Or you have any questions?
No, let's go ahead.
Okay.
Is it illegal to be so bad faith under oath, like actively hiding info? Yes, this is perjury. 100%. This is 1 trillion%. This is perjury. Yes.
So let's fast forward to about 12:55 in the morning. Okay, so it's updated to 12:50. You can see these people are still there up in the upper right-hand corner.
Inside election security.
Boxes that...
With Georgia election official Gabriel Sterling.
These boxes that Rudy Giuliani and the president have described as suitcases are actually purpose-built ballot carriers that are used because they can be sealed.
Yes, sir. So you see they're out in plain sight. So it's not like anything was hidden from anybody. And let's get to 9:57. And here comes the ballot carriers that we're talking about.
With this man here?
Yes, and they're empty, as you can see.
Right.
So these are the ballots that need to be scanned still, that they're going to start stacking into these carriers.
Now, this is the same room from a different camera angle.
Yes.
What do you see in this picture?
Well, here you have here's some cutters running their work, the flatteners over here getting the ballot prepared, and then up to this corner, this is the press and the observers who are there from the different parties.
The Democratic and Republican observers are right here.
Yes, and doing a great job looking at their phones.
Now, it is almost 10 p.m. election night. Some of these people have been working 12, 14 hours.
Yes.
And they've just been told that they're going to wrap up for the night. Mm-hmm. So what are they doing here?
This is where they're packing up because they think they're going home. They're packing.
This is about when it cuts at 9:59, I think?
So that nobody can mess with the ballots when no one's there.
They're securing the ballots.
Correct.
With the idea that they're going to come back tomorrow and count them.
Yes, sir.
But then what happened?
And we found out at our office, approximately 10:30 or so, that they were...
So at 9:58 p.m.,
the secretary was
they're packing the boxes.
We wanted people to work as long as they could so that we could have the results out as fast as we could. So our office called the director of Fulton County, who subsequently calls the manager on site here and says, y'all need to keep on working. So they keep on stacking in here. I'm going to get us 3 of the boxes that fit perfectly inside that box.
She's got the lids in her hands.
9:59, 10 a.m. Now, or I'm sorry, 10 p.m. 10:01, 10:01, 10:01.
She's finally sliding the lids on.
She's putting the lids on the ballot carriers.
She's doing her best with the lids on. She's just having a difficult time with this. But again, it's still 10:01. The monitors and press are still in the room, so they're seeing all this occur. She's putting the seal on right now, which is these blue items here.
So she's sealing the ballot carrier box so that no one can tamper with it.
Correct.
Those are ballots that have been opened from their envelopes but have not yet been counted.
Correct.
What she's thinking in this moment is what she's been told by her supervisor is, put those away. We're going to count them tomorrow.
Yes. And it's 10:06. The monitors are still there.
10:06.
Slide this box under
There they go.
Why under the table?
Get them out of the way. They're still walking around doing stuff. They got cords.
10:07.
Out of the way.
10:07 p.m. Huh. Isn't it crazy that the exact footage that she seems to cut is exactly when they're putting the ballots under the table so that they could pretend later that they had no idea where they were coming from? Again, this isn't an accident. This is precisely
Contradiction of what they've been told by the supervisors.
9:59.
Are running this operation.
9:59.
So, okay, we're still about 10 o'clock. Can you take us to about...
Listen to her. Can you take us to... I need you to skip forward. Can you take us to 9:59? Can you take us to...
10:25.
10:25?
So we can see the change.
Can we skip
You're gonna
ahead
watch this place
25 minutes? Okay, so now we don't see her move any of these under the table. Oh, well now something just appeared on top.
Busy and filled up to emptied at sometime between 10:25 and 10:35, which is consistent with what the affidavits say.
Can you see over here? Boxes are the exact same kind of box.
This is when they were being moved under the table.
These out of the way to know that these are the ones we got scanned later that we hadn't scanned yet.
At this point, the Secretary of State's office, your office, has called Fulton County and said, you guys can't go home. You've got to keep counting.
Yes.
And so we're about to see what happens next.
Correct.
Now, this is the aha moment in Rudy Giuliani's version of the video.
Correct.
They're pulling those ballot carriers out that we just saw them put under there.
Correct. About a little less than an hour earlier, with the press and observers in the room. And then you see, and that one, here they come. That one even hidden. You can see that on the other side of the table.
And they're all marked and sealed just the way they were when we saw them go under the table.
Correct.
So long story short, they put these ballots...
It's total bullshit. Intentional bullshit.
It was
They have another one from...
an allegation Trump personally amplified.
There's even security camera footage from Georgia that shows officials telling poll watchers to leave the room before pulling suitcases of ballots out from under the tables and continuing to count for hours.
They kept on recycling these things.
The footage appears to show poll workers pulling ballots out of suitcases after...
Fuck you, don't steal my ideas. And then this ends with Giuliani. The ending for this is very nice because Giuliani admits that he completely fucking lied about all of it and then lost his defamation case. Why do you think she wasn't charged with anything? Is that Jenna Ellis that's working here? Because she might have flipped. She might be working with the prosecution on shit. But this is, you can see this is highly intentional, right? That we just happen to skip from 10 to 10:20, right? And then we just happen to skip from 10:20 to...
Okay, so 10:07, it goes down. This minutes for the...
From 10:25 to 10:37? See that? You see how intentional the time skips are? And then later on, then we can pretend like, oh my God.
The lady in purple. Okay, so what you're going to see happen at about 11 o'clock is once everyone is gone, is that what there? Now we're going to start pulling these ballots out from under this table. This table, the black...
Now, if you were... Now, let's... Like, imagine if you were an investigator, right? And you're like, wow, at 10 o'clock, there were boxes here. And then at 10:20, they're gone. Wouldn't you think, well, let's just watch what happened between 10 and 10:20? Like, wouldn't that be the first thing you would wonder? Like, let's look at the time. Jesus. Okay. I'm gonna go pick up my cat from the airport. I think I might stream tonight in the studio, tearing shit up. We'll see. But I love you. Stay safe. River and cappuccino, 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 my tuners. I'll catch you guys. Maybe tonight, or otherwise tomorrow. Okay. Be careful. Oh, wow. Did you guys know it's Friday? What are the chances? DSP is getting sued? Wait, what?
2 days. By the way, hilariously again, tagging me.
Look, the president, I'm sure, will tell the American people how he's going to vote on it eventually, but he wasn't making an announcement last night.
So it was a grammar thing.
Look, the president, I'm sure, will tell the American people how he's going to vote on it eventually, but he wasn't making an announcement last night.
So it was a grammar thing.
Sorry, could you repeat that, John?
It was a grammar thing. It was a speech thing. It was somehow some confusion in the words that he chose. Senator Vance, can you hear me?
Super staticky.
Senator Vance, I may be super staticky. You may not be hearing the loud baritone of my voice here.
Look, the president, I'm sure, will tell the American people.
Rip.
To try to get views off of my name. I mean, literally the first thing in the video is at DSP Gaming. You see what I mean? It's just, this is what all of these people do. All right? They literally get attention by tagging my name, by using my name. It's ridiculous how they do this. And then they end up showing up in YouTube search before any of my content. It's a pretty underhanded fucking thing to do, but YouTube allows it for some bizarre fucking reason. I don't know why. So anyway, I don't know exactly what's said in this video yet. All right? Because I haven't watched it. But I was told about this video yesterday while I was preparing for the Keemstar appearance. And I'm like, well, we're not going to talk about it today because I don't have a chance to watch or prepare. You know, today we're just going to do it live. I have no idea what's contained in this video besides he's going to sue me legally. So let's see why he's going to sue me legally. Let's find out.
So this all started with the video I put up on October 15th, 2021. And as you can see by the picture, it was called Baby Come Back. Now, that video was removed by...
He laughed at his own title? He literally laughed at his own title. Yeah.
YouTube for community guideline reasons. And in the email they sent, it says cyberbullying and harassment. It doesn't say who complained about it. It simply says at the bottom...
Super crazy.
So this all started with the video I put up on October 15th, 2021. And as you can see by the picture, it was called Baby Come Back. Now, that video was removed by YouTube for community guideline reasons. And in the email they sent, it says cyberbullying and harassment. It doesn't say who complained about it. It simply says at the bottom, YouTube creators share their opinions on a wide range of different topics. So that told me everything I needed to know. But again, there's no way to know who actually did it. But the messed up part about it is, I was only reviewing El Crimson King's classic video, DS Re-Emergency, where he turned the Panda Lee hospital story into a cartoon. So it's kind of odd that video was still up, but my review of it got taken down. At the end of the day, it's not a big deal. It was just me reviewing an incredible piece of DSP lore, but I couldn't understand who would complain about it and get it taken down outside of DSP. But again, there's no way to prove this. So let's jump ahead to January 10th, 2022. And I get another video taken down, but this time an actual copyright strike. And the title of the video was Fundraiser for Taxes or Scam Wedding, You Decide. Now the claim says it came from Phil Burnell. And as most of us know, there are people that imitate him in order to get detractor videos taken down. So on the day that this happened, I made a community post about it, uploaded it to the backup channel, and just kept it moving. Now that's 2 videos I've had taken down. And what's the common factor in both of them? I talked about his wedding in one, so I mentioned his wife. And I reviewed the Panda Lee hospital story in the other, so I talked about his ex-girlfriend. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but it's a little bit of a pattern. Now a couple of weeks go by, and YouTube comes down on me and kicks me out of the partner program. I don't agree with it, but what can I really do about it? I just don't understand why they accepted me into the program in the first place, and then kicked me out of it when my content was pretty much the same the whole time. But then shortly after that, the copyright strike gets removed, and YouTube reinstates my video. So what was the point? It's almost like someone is secretly trying to teach me a lesson. Now, I'm somewhat confused, but I do have suspicions at this time. Unfortunately, I just can't prove anything. So I just continue making videos and doing my thing. But in April of 2023, Phil Burnell, aka DSP Gaming, claims that he's getting harassing messages from people saying they're going to copyright strike and sue him. Now, these messages didn't come from me, and if the people who sent them ever want to talk about it, that's up to them. But in response to this, DSP uploads a video to his channel showing his copyright history to prove that he hasn't been striking detractors over the years. He even goes out of his way to say that people making slanderous and malicious videos about him are still okay under fair use, and that he would never go after someone that was criticizing him as long as they did it in a transformative way. But there was just one little problem.
Wondering what this video is about? Of the past 2-3 years, I've been falsely accused of issuing copyright takedowns against people that I did not do. And I've had enough of it. I've outright told you guys a million times it's not me doing it. I don't condone that at all. In fact, I'm staunchly against it. I don't want any... one doing copyright takedowns in my name, nor do I do them. All right? I know that the videos made about me, the restreams made about me, as malicious as they may be and as slanderous or defamatory as you may consider them, they're okay under fair use law. That's why I don't do anything about them. One thing that's always been said is Phil's a liar. He actually claims all of our videos. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here you are. I'm here to prove my innocence because I've had enough. This is going to confirm everything that I have told you. And here's what I have told you. I do not claim anyone's videos. The very few videos I've ever claimed were direct rips and re-uploads of my content with no transformative work attached to them whatsoever. Meaning, it's not a this is how you don't play video. It's not a restream with commentary making fun of me. It's literally you stole my video 100%, copy pasted it to your channel, and that's illegal. That is taking away views from my content. That is not allowed on YouTube, and it is within my legal rights to take down those particular videos and those alone, okay? This video here was from another channel doing exactly the same thing back in January 2022. I remember this particular day, someone had reached out to me in a very similar manner and said, we found a channel that is doing this, okay? I did the same thing. I did claims on them. And actually, in this case, with this person, after about a month or two, I said, all right, you know what? I think they learned a lesson, and I retracted the takedown. But as you can see, this channel no longer exists either, so I don't even know what it was. It's gone from YouTube. There's nothing I can do, guys. I did my best to help you. I can't. Please stop with the harassment, because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm receiving constant harassing emails. People
That was a pretty dumb statement for DSP to make. Oh, no.
Saying they're going to false strike me, people saying they're going to contact a lawyer and sue me. It's not me. Here's your blatant proof. These are the only people I ever legitimately struck right here in front of you. And it's, look how small it is, and it's all legit. That's it, guys. I've had enough. Please leave me alone. Leave my business alone. I'm done with this. This is the last time you'll hear me address it because I have nothing to do with it.
And again, that video was from April 6, 2023. One day goes by and I'm not sure what happened, but now he's feeling the exact opposite.
So it's this simple. Here's what's come out of yesterday, all right? As of today, April 7th, 2023, I, Phil Burnell, am making this formal statement to the internet. Do not ask me for anything ever again because you will get nothing. Nothing from me ever again because you are ungrateful and you're not looking for truth and I have no time for your fucking bullshit. I owe you nothing. If you have an issue, get a lawyer and sue someone.
Well, if you insist upon it, then maybe I should. Now, the next clip is from February 3rd, 2024. And Phil is talking about people that do false copyright strikes. Somebody tips him and says, you copyright struck a detractor to teach them a lesson. And let's see what Phil says.
I just want to see, because I think I do have a couple troll tips here. Yep. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Just listen to this. Someone tipped me $1 and says, you struck down a commentary video from a detractor to teach him a lesson. You've been falsely claiming videos. I never struck down a commentary video of a detractor to teach them a lesson. This video here was from another channel doing exactly the same thing back in January 2022. I don't know who you're listening to. They're nuts. That's literally never happened. Never, not once. In the entire history of me being here on YouTube, there's been some things that have happened. For example, some of them were machinima related. As I cleared up last year when I did my machinima react event, machinima was first doing things in my name that I didn't even know about. Then they stopped doing that and started claiming things in their name, and I had no involvement in any of that whatsoever. They took the volition themselves to do it. The only videos I've ever actively claimed on YouTube were videos that...
It sounds like he thinks, or he's at least trying to say that he... Oh, shit. Oh, no. Fuck. I have a... Hold on. What a weird time to schedule something. I have a an hour-long talk or debate with a guy called Harvey Silverglate, who is Eastman's attorney. I just asked the podcaster dude if it's okay if we stream it live or if it needs to be pre-recorded. How many different color shirts do you have? Probably like 4 or 5, but I have like 2 or 3 of each. I bought out the whole Lululemon soft jersey t-shirt collection like 2 or 3 times over. Okay. I'm putting this in a back. I don't know if we can do this live or not. Hold on give me a minute. They're having audio issues. You wouldn't believe this, guys. Hold on one sec. Okay, hold on. I think I'm just gonna end up doing this offline. Also, their audio shit is completely fucked. So I'll be back in probably an hour. I'm so sorry. I love you. Okay, blame RTBA. Make sure to email him with your disappointment. All right. Or I could just leave it on the be right back screen.
Is better?
No.
Okay.
It's all